Good evening, Detroit Lakes. This is the VikingsTerritory Breakdown on KDLM Sports Radio. I am your host, Joe Johnson, owner of UFTA Sports. That's VikingsTerritory.com, PurplePTSD.com, FranchiseTag.com, TheDraftTeam.com, a million other sites that I don't know. I am like an auctioneer, saying them like people are pulling over in their car to write these things down. But just Google Minnesota Vikings and you'll find our stuff. I'm sure. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Joe Oberly. How you doing, my friend?
Good. I'd like to set up a website called I'm joined by Mr. Joe Oberly. How are you doing.com. Can I do that?
Yeah, I have a feeling I should just upload that intro into our soundbar, and then I could like take a sip of an energy drink. Right now I'm drinking Alka-Seltzer because getting old is not fun. But it's been...
You poor thing.
I like it.
You like Alka-Seltzer, you say, or you like getting old? Which one?
Well, both, because I'm like I'm fine wine. I'm like Paul Rudd.
That's what I think of when I see you, Joe. Fine wine. That's what comes to mind.
That guy's routine.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Alka-Seltzer. It's like seltzer water to me.
Jeez. Well, I'm sorry. You had a long night, it sounds like. So.
Yeah, things are crazy. Things are crazy good. We were named the largest single team news source in the world by FeedSpot this week.
What?
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah, it's like we're in the top 20 of sports websites in the world, and it's like the big name ones: ESPN, Bleacher Report, a ton of like cricket and soccer sites from India, and then it randomly it just says Minnesota Vikings, and it's really funny because it's like most people are probably thinking, what?
Well, Joe, congratulations. That's awesome. You've worked hard and built that up. But I guess I'd like, as a journalist, I'd need to ask what the criteria is for this moniker, this designation.
How quickly you can PayPal them?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Being in the industry, I've seen before the pay for play, model that's out there. But hey. Nonetheless.
No, it's actually it's not completely based on clicks, even though it's a big part of it. So they look at your Alexa rankings, which aren't always super accurate, I've noticed. Then how many followers you have on social media, what your I forget what the term is, but what your your search engine ranking is. There's a ranking through Google that's 0 through 100. And they take the top keywords for whatever your topic is, and then they'll say like your search engine keyword average ranking, and then they mix all those things together, a couple different things after that, and then they essentially assign you a rank. And so it's not solely based just on traffic, even though.
Wow, that's flipping cool. I mean, it's a little bit into the weeds for me, but I think I've decided to change the name of my website to Top 20 in the World.
That's right. And it's going to be even crazier because we saw the UFTA app, some of the screenshots this last week, and that'll be here by July. And we don't even have like a internal community really. That's kind of what hurts our score the most, is that we don't have that sort of internal clicks and users and people commenting on stories and making their own topics. And so we're all really, really excited to see where the rest of the year takes us. There's been a lot of cool stuff going on this week, a lot of big name people that I'm hopefully by next week's show I'll be able to announce are joining the UFTA Sports family to write about the Vikings. Some of the Mount Rushmore level guys in the industry or in the market. And by next week, we will also be announcing a partnership with Paul Charchian's Guillotine Leagues, where people can sign up and beat people like you, me, and Wabi in fantasy football if they want to see how good they are against. Well, you do pretty well in fantasy. I won our league once, but I'm always one of those people who like watches the last second NFL Network or ESPN Fantasy Live, and then I'll make a change, and every time it backfires spectacularly.
Yeah. Hey, well, that's not always the case. Though it was in a league with my son, and I was just heads and tails above everybody. I mean, I had Devontae Adams, I had Rodgers, I had Stephon Diggs were carrying me, and then I traded for Dalvin Cook. Speaking of Vikings, and I was a shoo-in to win, and I meet my son in the semifinals, who knows I'm going to beat him, and then he makes 3 moves. Just for the heck of it, says I got to do something, and he wins. And then I go on, have the next week in the championship round, I have the highest score by over 100 points by anybody. So I clearly had the best team, but got knocked out like that. So it happens, Joe. You can make those changes, and like you just said, or you can make them and they work in your favor. He hit on 3 out of 3, and I missed on 3 changes. Any 3 players I'd have switched in, I could have beat him. It's just like, it's fantasy football, and that's why I hate it so much.
I had Randy Moss and Tom Brady in 2007 when they broke those records. And the first round of the playoffs, they played Cleveland, and it was just the weather was terrible. It was like windy and like snow/rain coming sideways, and I think it was like the final score was like 9-3, like all field goals. And so I lost the first round, even though I went undefeated the entire season.
Wow.
The next year I went undefeated again, and then we did a playoff that was over 2 weeks, and you average your score. And I was like, well, I can't lose this time, because if it's a fluke, I'll just compensate the next week.
Right.
Yeah, I lost handily both weeks. So
nice. Well, I'm sure this is the stuff that people have tuned in for. This and the talking about our top 20. I can see our ranking plummeting as we speak.
I wanted to offset my initial humble brag of being good at one thing by saying that I'm terrible at everything else.
You are very good. You've built quite a network, Joe. You should be proud. So here it is.
Look at that. It's also my way of saying it's been a slow news week.
I think you're getting that. I think my fans are picking up on that vibe.
It's after the draft. There's always a really